Hi, everyone. This is my assignment 5, revisions and rationale. For the first one, evidence of understanding in terms of my task. So these are my understanding for the units, and the tasks are local observation of the environment to identify the different spheres of the Earth, the mystery science activity, the virtual experiment that we did, and this one I would change because it was underwhelming for my students and it wasn't very engaging for them. So this is one activity I would change and make sure that it applies to the understanding and it shows proper evidence. And the other one, this is developing a physical model to demonstrate the interaction of Earth spheres. I would say this task adheres or it applies to the understanding, because as they engage in this task, they're able to identify how the Earth is made up of different systems and comes together to make a whole. They're able to recognize how the interaction of the hydrosphere, the atmosphere, and all the spheres affect and depend on each other. So I would say that this task aligns. The next one, real world application. I would stick with my initial task, which is develop a physical model to demonstrate the interaction of Earth spheres. I believe that this task is authentic because students will have to, as they're developing their models, they will have to use real world materials to develop their models to show how the systems interact with each other. Assessment variety, I would add on to my assessment by giving students choice boards for them to demonstrate their learning understanding. For example, I would give them an option to make an infographic, which is a virtual visual representation of what they've learned, a summary of it in a visual way. So I would give them that opportunity. And then student reflection, this is one thing I need to work more on, giving students time to answer the essential questions in your journals, as well as a shared time where students turn and talk with partners and teach a classmate what they've learned. These are the ISD standards, 2.5B ISD standards, educator standards. So design authentic learning activities that align with the content area standards and use digital tools and resources to maximize active deep learning. The standards connects to my units, to my training, my plan for my teaching unit, because I ensure to use mystery science, which is a virtual resource, as well as I'm going to add on to it Gizmos, which is another digital resource as well. And the second one says 2.6C, create learning opportunities that challenge students to use a design process and computational skills to innovate and solve problems. Thinking about the task for the students, where students have to develop a model to show how the different spheres of the Earth interact. It makes engaging in that task would have students apply computational thinking, where they would have to think about decomposing, breaking down the activity in steps. They would have to think of how they would model it. They'll have to identify the different materials they need and the ones they do not need. They'll have to persevere as they try different models to see what works and what doesn't work. So these two standards connect to my teaching unit. And here are my references for the teaching unit for the lesson. These are what I have are 2 lessons, which I'm going to add more to it based on my feedback and try to find more resources, digital resources, and hands-on resources for the students. Thank you.